Hi guys, Alex here. I'm today going to walk you through a project that I find really fascinating that has a really unique approach to design as well as quality of life. It's called Muraba Veil. If you've been following me along, you know I'm a fan of innovative approaches and in general businesses where the focus is on creating something truly unique and special rather than simply making money. It's how I try to live my life, and generally I work with clients who view the world in a similar way. This project is one of, I think, going to be the iconic buildings here in the Dubai skyline. You'll see why in a second. Even though it launched a little bit while ago, I had a chance to visit their unique experiential gallery and was inspired to share this video for you so that perhaps you can feel inspired in your own business, perhaps as an investor into this project and into the UAE in general. So let's dive in. The project is located on the Dubai Canal. So the location is over here on the canal. Yes, it's next to Sheikh Zayed Road, but I'll get to that in a second. The important thing to know about this particular stretch of land is it's one of the most expensive pieces of real estate in Dubai. We have Mr. C residences, we have Eden House here, we have Four Seasons private residences, the Rings, a few others. And we have, of course, Aman over here and H&H building developments here. This is important because those are priced significantly higher than price per square foot wise than this project. So the location, I think, is interesting, though maybe not ideal next to the highway, but I think there are some interesting mitigating factors. The project is 72 stories high, and throughout the entire building, it's only 22.5 meters in width, which is crazy if you think about it. There's no other project like it. And the way that the Muraba, the developer, has approached the design is it's modeled based on traditional Arabic housing that had an interior courtyard and basically played with different shaded areas in the building to minimize the climate impact and to create spaces for people to gather as a family. And I like when developers take this kind of approach of integrating with the cultural heritage where they're building in order to imbue that particular feel into the building with a modern take. It's done by RCR Architects, and the Muraba is based by the Al Ghurair family, one of the more respected families here in the UAE. I want to talk you through the project here, and their motto is the seen and not seen. It's quite telling. So on the outside, actually, you have this mesh veil, hence Muraba Veil, that is retractable. You can control it. And so every single unit, it has the front and back view. So it's dual view. And you're the only unit across that entire space. So there's only a few units alongside the building, but you're going to have front and back views. And the way they designed each apartment is really interesting because there is a lot of what people would usually consider balcony area. So what they've done is actually they've created these internal shaded areas on either side of the apartment. So you have several meters of space from the mesh to the living area. And on the other side, the same thing from the living area to the other side of the building. You have shaded areas with lounge seating, and the way that they integrated plants, which also, by the way, comes standard with every apartment, is a way to minimize the heat impact. They have some interesting, really stunning, actually, amenities that kind of remind me of Tulum and Spain, this deep underground cavern for wellness. And you have, of course, you have concierge, ballet, children play areas as a standard. But what really sets them apart, I think, is this integration of wellness into the space to make sure that people living here really have serenity, tranquility, despite the fact that they're next to one of the biggest highways in the area. And this is what I was talking about, how they have this area. This is the outside. then you have this particular area, and then the living space starts beyond that. And you have these, I believe they're quadruple paneled glass windows that actually you can also control and move out of the way, so you can have a completely open apartment to the breeze if you so choose. I'll be really curious to see how this plays into the summer months here in the UAE, but I love the design and just wanted to share it with you, where there's a lot of use of light, a lot of use of shading in order to create innovative solutions to, well, let's be honest, what can be considered a harsh climate here during the summer months, where temperatures can reach 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. We have, as I mentioned, 72, 73 floors, only 131 residences throughout, and you can have some really stunning views anywhere that you are in the apartment. I really like their payment plan as well for luxury buildings. It's pretty rare to see a 50-50 payment plan. Completion is in end of 2028, so you can say 3 years from when I'm creating this video. So you can already start to sense I'm going to recommend this for investment, if not only just for the payment plan, but that does play a big part. They have from 2 to 4 bedroom residences. They have some penthouses. This is what the inside looks like. So it's really kind of a serene space. And I think that was the biggest feeling that I took away from the entire experience in their gallery, is the founders and the architects focus on creating something where a person can relax and unwind. And I wish more developers would take this approach. There is still availability here in the project. I will talk about the experience here in a second. The project is 2 bedrooms are around 13, 15 million, 3 bedrooms, about 20 to 30 million plus. Of course, as always, it depends on the floor. It depends on, whether it's a duplex or a simplex. The higher up you go in the building, the higher the prices. But in either case, that's the approximate price range. And I'll get to why in a second. I think it creates for a good investment. There's a huge subterranean wellness club. You actually enter the building kind of underneath, where you enter in this subterranean space where you can already start, your nervous system can start to calm down. And then from there, you can experience the rest of the building. They'll have different dune pools, a rooftop swimming pool, 360 meters above the ground. I think that's one of the highest in the UAE. There's a fine dining restaurant at the top. You have these types of spaces for yoga, and this is what people generally travel to, like Mexico and Spain and other countries, to experience. Here you can experience it in the comfort of your own home. I would certainly love to visit and live here as well. As always, of course, concierge, security, everything is maintained. You have, basically you're able to order housekeeping and private pool cleaning. And what I like is that they maintain the plants in your apartment as part of your service charge. They have a service charge of 38 dirham per square foot, which in all aspects, I think that's quite low for the luxury market where this building is definitely a part of. As a quick comparison, yeah, I've seen these numbers go up to 70 plus dirham per square foot. So given the level of amenities that they're providing, I think it's a quite reasonable charge. So it's another look at the private dining rooms and the restaurant that you have on the top floor. I think Omniat's Lumena also had a really interesting concept for a restaurant on the high floor. And I like that, of course, greenery and shading is integrated here to give you a sense of peace. Let's talk about the investment potential for this particular property. And if we run a quick model and say we buy a 3-bedroom for 25 million, we have 50% due prior to handover, 4% DLD. If we assume, let's say, a base case of 10%, we're looking at 10% annual growth per year, which is below where the market has been, or rather a conservative case. We're looking at about a 50% return. If we make it 12, 62, and if we make it 15, closer to where the market has been, you're looking at 80+% return on capital invested in 3 years. Considering the market for luxury properties is very quickly growing in the UAE, there's really not that many options. I mentioned a few earlier, like Four Seasons, which by the way, on resale has reached 10,000 per square foot plus when it was selling at 7,000 originally. You have other projects like Bulgari Lighthouse being constructed. You have Royal Atlantis, that's the most notable success story. You have just even regular units in Bulgari on the island that earn their investors, in some cases, more than 100, more than 200% returns. This is to say that the market for luxury properties, there's very little supply in the UAE at the moment. There's big, let's say, middle segment, a big budget segment, but really not that much at the top. You have Omniat, you have Armani, perhaps on the Palm, you have Royal Atlantis and a few of the other ones that I mentioned, but that's really it. I have clients who want to find a place to live in this segment, and it's actually quite difficult. You can count on one hand the number of buildings that are completed. So I think this fits into a nice aspect of the segment. I think the returns will be 50 to 80% plus for investors on capital invested. And I think this could be really interesting from a living standpoint. If you're a fan of wellness, tranquility, and you think AWA is a little bit over the top, I think this is kind of like a more streamlined, down-to-earth version of AWA, which is, as you know, the building and business bay based on Avatar. I love the crazy plants and greenery they have throughout, but for many people, you know, it's kind of too much of a Bali vibe. Muraba Veil, I think, hits home to people who still value it, who still value wellness, and really want to experience that in their residence here. And I think this project particularly answers that need. Do I think it's one of the best investments in the UAE? I think it's up there, probably not the best, but I would say maybe top 10, top 15. And the reason I wanted to share this with you is because it's a really unique, innovative approach to wellness. I think they do a really good job with the architecture and bringing in cultural elements of traditional Arabic housing into the mix. And when a developer or anyone generally cares this much, the results tend to follow. I've seen this in venture capital when I worked in venture funds. Founders that genuinely wanted to improve the lives of the people that they touch tend to be the most successful, versus the ones who are simply doing things because it's a business tend to, you know, fall away at first sign of trouble, first sign of challenges in their work. And here, I think the project will be successful. It will bring residents who live here a lot of joy. I think it's important for us to, of course, find the right unit with the right flooring to make sure we're a bit above the noise of Sheikh Zayed Road. But in either case, whether it's for living or for investment, I'm happy to work with you to see whether this is a good place for you to live. It could be part of your strategic portfolio. I think across the luxury segment, I would definitely put this in the top 5 of what's available right now in the off-plan market. So once again, I want to thank you guys for watching. You can leave your comments below. Hopefully you like this project, or at least the approach. And if it resonates, you can reach out through the link below. I'd be happy to get in touch with you and see how we can work together. Once again, thank you guys for watching. My name is Alex. I'll see you next time.